Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. Sorry for the delay. I'm very sorry for the delay. Uh, I wanted to speak about the lineup. The lineup is interesting because, especially because of Grealish and Mahrez. I thought I would never see them in the near future playing together again, especially after what happened in the Community Shield match. Both of them slow the game down, so the dynamic will be interesting today. How they cope with it. Football Critics is as much as I wanted Haaland, but I want Alvarez as well. Exactly, Football Critics. Even in my just a second, I'll just sort of the audio a bit. That was the trouble we were having. Yes, then yes, now the audio should be perfect. So yeah, I mean in a lineup prediction as well, I also wanted Alvarez to start. And I know that Alvarez can't play in his preferred striking position, but who tells you that Alvarez is a preferred striker? Julian Alvarez is, for me, he's someone like Roberto Firmino, someone of that ilk, very, very versatile. By the way, I still do not know. I'm still trying to figure out if the lineup on the screen is correct, especially because of the positions. Is Ake playing at left back? I think he is because there were some websites in the net which are showing John Stones at right back and Cancelo at left back, but then I actually do not know. No, I think I've got it wrong. It's John Stones who's playing it right back. Yeah, it's Stones at right back. But then even that I find odd when you have Cancelo who's a natural right back. I don't know why do you play him there? Maybe I think Pep wants to test the Akanji and Ake connection. That can be the only thing. I think 2 days back on our show as well, we were sort of discussing if all our centre backs are fit, who would be the best combination. And we finally, at least I finally came to a conclusion that based on the ball playing ability, physicality, and everything, for Champions League, it should be Ake and Akanji. And for the Premier League, it should be Laporte and Akanji. Ake and Akanji for the Champions League just because for me Laporte is too fragile in 1v1 situations. Laporte can't handle the 1v1 situations as confidently. 2019 Hon Min Son running onto him was a really good example. Mahrez misread the switch and the ball goes out for a throw in. So Laporte for me can't start big knockout games in Champions League. Is not that good 1v1. So I think Ake Akanji is the one. In a Premier League, it's different. You have to break down part the bus defenses. Even if you do a 1v1 mistake in a Premier League, there's always chance to recover. So I'll be stunned if Pep starts Laporte in big Champions League nights in the knockout games. Actually, Akanji is a rabbit out of the hat here. No one expected Akanji to be as it's only one game I know, but no one expected Akanji to have as big a role already at City. Everyone thought that he would be, your third, fourth centre back choice replacement and stuff like that. So Akanji is a rabbit out of that, and for me, I think Akanji has that presence, has that aura of Nathan Ake. Wonderful tackle by Nathan Ake. Look at the recovery. He couldn't get the ball, but that was a wonderful attempt. Akanji there again. I'm already a big fan of Akanji, looking at what he's doing. Jack Grealish playing himself out of trouble. That's a foul. Come on, Jude. That's a foul on Grealish. Reina for Dortmund down the left wing would be very interesting. He is said to be a really upcoming talent, so we'll keep an eye on him. I honestly think this game will be much more challenging than what it was at Sevilla because Dortmund they sort of go in that mid block. They sort of like to come at us. They almost, I wouldn't say they want to go toe to toe with us, but they're sort of a team who like to be in your faces a bit in the sense wanting to play with the ball, not like the Atletico Madrid kind of stuff. And also Riyad Mahrez. Now you're already identifying the problem with playing Mahrez and Grealish. It's already evident. See, whenever Mahrez is getting the ball, his first instinct, his first reaction is to try and find someone for a pass in the midfield, or try and go back and take the safety option, try and keep possession and all. See, Stones to Mahrez, again Mahrez back to Stones. With the Foden and all, it's just it's just the presence of that player and the fullback and the opposition winger. They're always two steps forward, two steps backwards, defending in their own territory. So that is, I think, against Newcastle as well, Mahrez started on the right wing, right? So this is the problem you have with starting both Mahrez and Grealish. Both are similar sort of a players, play similar style. Akanji, City is just not able to break the press on Dortmund right now. Wonderful switch by Rodri. It's. I mean, when the flight of the ball was going like this, I thought wonderful switch, but then it was a trash switch there from Rodri. That is good pressure by Jack Grealish. We get the ball back, but Gundogan does a rare mistake and gives the ball away. In Dortmund ready to break now. City are back and they're organized in shape already, but sloppiness in the midfield and Pep will not accept it. Not accept it at all. Both the teams are nicely cancelling each other out. They're sort of playing within themselves. It almost looks like an intriguing tactical battle is going on. City are, by the way, playing pressing with a 4-4-2 with De Bruyne joining Haaland in the press out of possession. That's a throw in for City. Again, good pressure. I mean, neither of the team are able to play out of possession. JSK says, Yo Mohan. I guess Pep being an idiot once again. See the lineup. I know JSK, you're angry that Ortega is not starting, and it was quite intriguing for me as well that Ortega is not starting. Then why has he come here? It's not that he's 25, 26 years and he wants to learn. He's already 29, if I'm not wrong, and he had offers from other clubs. So I thought he will be our cup goalkeeper, but no. Riyad Mahrez again with a poor touch, but gives the ball back. Rodri to Cancelo to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish again. Mate, already I'm feeling that frustration. I'm already feeling that frustration of Grealish and Mahrez doing the bloody same old thing. That's wonderful skill from Cancelo, but he's taking the ball out. He's surely taking the ball out. But aren't you guys getting frustrated seeing both Grealish and Mahrez do the bloody same thing on both the wings? It just looks so passive. It just looks like it's on a slow burner. It just seems so slow movement on both the wings. JSK says I'm more pissed about starting Mahrez and Grealish. Exactly, JSK. And I'm pissed. I'm as much pissed like you. After that Community Shield, I never even imagined. I think we spoke about that for half an hour or so about why Pep should not start Grealish and Mahrez, and here he has done. Look at the number of times both of them have conceded possession as well, and both of them are playing the ball back. How many times we are rebuilding attack after attack? How many times we are recycling possession after possession after possession? Every ball that Mahrez is getting is just sending it back to Stones or Akanji. It's damn frustrating. Dortmund have played out from the back very well. We'll keep an eye on Jude Bellingham as well, how we will cope with it. Riyad Mahrez, the ball has gone out and it's a throw in for City. And also, I actually thought, I mean, more than being pissed about both Mahrez and Grealish starting, I think we should be more pissed about why. Alvarez is not getting a game. What the hell does Pep want to do with Alvarez? What has he done wrong? Zero tactical mistakes. He has run further than anybody whenever he has played. He drops into the midfield, does everything Pep Guardiola wants. Jack Grealish with the ball. Cancelo, Rodri. Switch to Riyad Mahrez. Riyad bloody go and attack. Go and attack. He is giving it back to John Stones again. Again, John Stones to Riyad Mahrez. Again, I know what he will do because I'm an astrologer. He'll give it back to John Stones. Again, John Stones getting it back. Both Riyad and Mahrez, it looks like are practicing a 1-2 there. Again, back to John Stones. It must be so frustrating, right? Seeing that interplay. Now Riyad Mahrez there with the ball. Ah, two Dortmund players going in on Haaland. But anyway, that was a difficult header. That was a very difficult header. The ball was thrashed from Mahrez. It was a bit loopy. It is just a thrash ball. Thrash play from Mahrez again. JSK says, I fear he will leave for Barca next season like Ferran Torres. There must be some plan for Julian Alvarez JSK because other than City, I bet you for every other team in the Premier League, Julian Alvarez starts. Even for Liverpool, he starts. For every other team in the world, I think Julian Alvarez starts. Madrid, he starts. Barca, he starts. Hands down. Bayern Munich, Julian Alvarez starts. So you can imagine. I don't know why we are benching Julian Alvarez. Dortmund are in attack here. John Stones in a 1v1 situation. John Stones beaten Manuel Akanji. Uh, I don't know why John Stones was beaten so easily over there. I know there's an overlap, but John Stones should have had the intelligence there to stick with that overlap guy and leave the guy who was cutting inside to Akanji. I don't know why he went with the guy who was cutting inside, and Akanji also went for him, leaving the guy on the overlap free. Same mistake we did against Newcastle and thrash pass from Riyad Mahrez again. Already I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4 thrash passes. And also JSK, Ferran Torres was different. I think he was different in the sense that Ferran Torres was from Valencia, right? If I'm not wrong. Yeah, he was from one of the Spanish clubs, I think Valencia. And he was almost in that mold that I want to play for Barca. Playing for Barca is my dream. But I think with Julian Alvarez, that is not the case. Jack Grealish is trying to shoot, and what a crap shot that is. I think if I have to give some ratings now, I think I'll give -1 to both Mahrez and Jack Grealish. Absolute shit, pissing shit that is. Dreadful, both of them at least till now. JSK says and starting Stones over Diaz or Ake and Gomez. That is also interesting. When you had, I mean, this is again something, a corner's coming in. Crack corner again. We had Maris with the ball. Yes, JSK, good point. Again, I don't know why you're starting John Stones at right back when you can put Cancelo at right back and Sergio Gomez at left back. Just like Julian Alvarez, what mistake did Sergio Gomez did? Nothing. Oh, Ake was close to the cross there. But Sergio Gomez again, I thought he displayed the intelligence to go into them spaces. He knew Sergio Gomez looked like he was playing in the Pep system since the last 10, 15 years. He looked so good. I mean, his positional intelligence was just excellent, Sergio Gomez. He knew when to invert, he knew when to overlap, he knew when to, sort of go forward. He has the pace to recover. He had the pace to recover when Zinchenko couldn't. He looked assured defensively. He defended 3-1v1 spot on. Sergio Gomez had almost a close to 9 by 10 performance or even a 10 by 9.5 by 10 performance, but dropped. Julian Alvarez, same thing, dropped. Do not know, and it doesn't make sense as well, right? By playing Cancelo on the right, you're unleashing Cancelo as well. Maybe it's see there could only be one reason why he's starting Stones. I think Pep maybe feels John Stones requires some confidence and Riyad Mahrez there. And that's a poor touch and Kevin De Bruyne. He didn't. That was a heavy touch from Mahrez and the ball went out for a goal kick. or is it a corner? I don't know. Yeah, so for me, Pep feels John Stones needs confidence there because he was dreadful till now defensively in all of the games he has played. So that can be the only reason. But I don't see how John Stones fits into our best team, right? Now with Laporte coming back as well, I think John Stones could very well be in the at the very end of the picking order in terms of centre backs. Akanji suddenly that's a good crossing and very well defended by Akanji, but it's an offside flag. But look at the defensive thing from Akanji. Again, very well done. He obviously didn't know that the flag would go up. Look at the positioning there. The positioning from Akanji was superb there. There was no way the ball reached the striker unless the striker committed a foul on Akanji. So suddenly, John Stones finds himself. I think if I have to tell you the order right now, it's based on current form at least. It's Akanji, just based on current form, not on stature or past performances. It's very well done by Erling Haaland. It's Riyad Mahrez. Haaland goes into his position. That's a great switch from Riyad Mahrez to Jack Grealish. They're just covering off Haaland, and this could be something which we should learn. When Haaland is covered up by two, three defenders, how do we find out alternate avenues to break the opposition defense down? Yeah, talking about the centre backs order based on current form, I think it's Akanji, Ake, Laporte, Diaz, Stones. Okay, Laporte slash Diaz, you could say, in Stones. So Stones, I don't see how now with Laporte returning back from injury, Diaz waiting. I don't see how Stones plays regularly for City. How Stones gets into the regular starting 11 because suddenly Stone still now had that unique ball playing ability, that unique ability to play out of the press and stuff. Suddenly you have Akanji, who has good ball playing ability, could say better passing ability than John Stones. So suddenly Stones finds himself that he is not anymore that unique commodity which with his ball playing qualities because Akanji does the same and looks more composed and experienced defensively. So John Stones has a big fight on his hands now to get back. Again, very well read by Akanji and Ake. Already the centre back pairing looks very, very good. Look at the understanding in closing the space between both of them. I remember in the Newcastle match, it was Diaz and Stones, I think, right? It was a ball over the top for Wilson, and neither of them picked up the runner from the midfield. Now you see the same ball over the top, and you see both Akanji and Ake converging towards the ball and closing down the space in between, which tells me the understanding, and they didn't even speak or signal to each other. The understanding already seems excellent. And like I was saying, I do not see how John Stones can get back into this team anywhere soon in the future unless perhaps switches to a back three or there's some drastic formation change or something like that because he's not that unique commodity anymore with the arrival of Akanji. Again, who is giving this corner training? Again, a crap corner. Kevin De Bruyne. Riyad Mahrez missing his kick. Maybe not his day today. That was a training ground routine between Riyad Mahrez and De Bruyne. Mahrez coming onto the ball, scoring a goal Old Trafford last season. Mahrez tried to do the same but missed the ball completely. Not even kicked it, missed it completely. So you can understand the form Mahrez is in. I think this game could be very important for a couple of guys. For John Stones, it's going to be important. For Mahrez, it's going to be important. Dare I say that it's going to be important for Jack Grealish as well because you just see the competition in spaces around those people. It's Cole Palmer is waiting, Julian Alvarez is waiting, Phil Foden will surely want to come back. Ake, just cover it up. Good, great physicality from Nathan Ake there. It's an offside, but again, Nathan Ake showing good composure. JSK's and this Mahrez and Grealish together won't work simple. And we knew JSK right after, not even after, right in the first half of that Community Shield game, you knew, right? We were scratching our heads thinking what sort of a boring football is this. Mahrez, Grealish, both of them coming into the midfield, same criteria of keeping possession, passing the ball. Grealish cutting inside and plays a crap pass. This is the infinity time, even if that's even a word, that Grealish has given away the possession in the midfield and it's just 24 minutes gone. Jack Grealish again being dispossessed cleanly, again trying to do it on his own. I mean, the space of 1 minute, twice you're dispossessed of the ball. That is, you can be thrown into exile for 10 years in a Pep Guardiola team for being dispossessed so cheaply in the space of twice in the space of 1 minute. It's just not acceptable for Grealish or any other player to do that. Just because it's 100 million and Messi waits for this bum. Again, a bad cross. That's a simple cross, right, Jack? See, now with Mahrez being ineffective, suddenly you're having Kevin De Bruyne having to come out wide, and that makes it easier for opposition to defend against Kevin. Erling Haaland on the ball, and he just cannot get the ball out of his feet. With Grealish, I think Grealish is doing the simple things well. Like, I mean, in this match is not going it well, but generally, especially in the second half of the season, Grealish is, he has tried to contain the tempo of the game. He has tried to keep the game in our grips, which was sort of, difficult for us against Newcastle. He's done that, but he has not done anything beyond that. See, when you come with a reputation of and price of 100 million, you're expected to do that is a bare minimum, right? Just controlling the tempo and trying to keep the ball in recycled position. That is a bare tempo. Even a 10 million, 15 million pounds Gomez does that. Grealish has done that, but he's not able to go beyond that. And I don't understand why. Is it fear that if I lose possession, Pep will throw me out of the team? Or I don't know what is it. Jack Grealish is not that same sort of player that we picked up from Aston Villa. Sometimes I think that Pep has just got it wrong positionally with Jack Grealish. I mean, you go and see old clips of Jack Grealish when he played for Villa, and even in pre-season, where does he enjoy playing the most? Even in pre-season, he enjoyed playing the most in the midfield position when he can go either ways, when he has a bit of empty space to run into. When you put Jack Grealish in the midfield, suddenly Grealish becomes this is a 1v1 Akanji with Reina, I think. He's done well to push Reina back. So when you leave Jack Grealish in the middle of the field, it almost feels that Grealish is like a child, who has suddenly got his toys back and is very happy. I think positionally Pep has put Grealish in the wing and he has almost cut out half his game. He's almost imprisoned Jack Grealish. That is the honest feeling I have. Because you don't see that courage in Jack Grealish. It is for the courage of taking on players or going both ways that we paid 100 million. Leave him everything else. Leave the assists, leave the goals. Even if Jack Grealish doesn't get an assist or a goal this season, from here on I'm happy. But I want him to see the courage to take on people, the courage to drag people out of possession. I want him to have the bravery of going 1v1, not just recycling possession. That is, if he does that, his 100 million is justified. Forget assists, goals, all of that. He's not doing that, and that is the worry of us. That is the worry of fans. Rodri again. If you have to sum up the game, what have we done in this game? If you put the heat map is all in that defensive area. And the ball in the heat map will be with Akanji, Stones, Mahrez. They will have a couple of passes in that heat map, more than a couple of passes. Dortmund are almost replicating City. They are also pressing us in a 4-4-2. It's almost like Dortmund have matched our shape both in possession and out of possession. This will be a tactical puzzle for Pep again. And I think the person who can solve this tactical puzzle is Julian Alvarez for me, because he can drop into the midfield, can get more numbers in the midfield, which will actually disturb the tactical shape of Dortmund. So Pep has a tactical puzzle to solve. I know it's only 28 minutes, 20 more minutes to go. You might think Haaland will score a goal now, and this guy will say we are all right tactically. No, that's not the case. Tactically, we are just being shackled here. I wouldn't say we are being outdone, but we are being shackled here tactically. We have been tied up in knots tactically. Marco Roy is there. I think it's a free kick. Akanji is organizing the defense very well also. Very well done by Akanji. Is the first to the ball. Great organizational skills. Manuel. Yes, that is well done by Riyad Mahrez. Ikai Gundogan. Gundogan's just kicked it away long. Kevin, yes. That is good pressure by Kevin De Bruyne, but no one to follow him up. That is something which Julian Alvarez gives you extra as well. He follows up the press. Oh, for a moment I thought that could have been a own goal, and that is very well beaten away by Ederson. CSK just wish this Mahrez or Grealish gets injured for rest of the season so that Alvarez can come out like Vinicius after Hazard injury, and JSK Alvarez. I think he's way above Vinicius. Now people will say I'm mad and all, but Alvarez already is way above Vinicius. His qualities, his understanding of the game, and everything. People will say I'm crazy, but the finishing of Julian Alvarez is almost close to it's almost as good as Erling Haaland. That might sound crazy, but that is true. The guy is so ruthless of a finisher. It's just that Pep needs to play him more. And in the past when Pep didn't play Leroy Sané when he signed for us, I think it took Sané an year, right? And when Pep didn't play Leroy Sané and all those guys, Bernardo Silva took time to adjust. You knew that there was some problem in adjusting to the system, but Alvarez is well suited adjusted to the system as well. It seems as if he's been playing in the system since even before he was born. So if that makes sense. So don't know what is running through Pep's mind. John Stones. John Stones at right back is just looking piss poor. Not his fault though. Not his fault at all. No creativity at all on that right flank for us. I mean, I think to break these tactical shackles of Dortmund, Pep needs to bring on both Gomez and Alvarez. Bringing on Sergio Gomez would mean he moves into the midfield, he inverts extra number in midfield. Alvarez could invert into the midfield, but the that's an excellent ball. Nathan Ake 1v1. That is very well done. Ake defending well. Yes, because only an injury to one of these guys can gives Alvarez moment. But I actually think Jessica would be stunned if Pep doesn't start Alvarez next game, because starting from this week, I think you have a game every midweek. I think okay, this international break, but the schedule is just ruthless. The only excuse I can give Pep here is Jack Grealish trying to cut inside, two defenders blocking him, and the guy still wants to have a shot. Jack, you're not a Superman or something that you can hit balls through people. Two people blocking you, and why do you want to bloody shoot? You have drawn two people towards you. Have some intelligence and try to pass the ball to Gundogan or Haaland who are free there. Play with your brain as well, Grealish. Skills and all can just unlock the first door for you at City. Maybe at Villa they made you the superstar, but at City skills do not mean anything. It's your tactical intelligence, tactical awareness, trying to play in teammates that counts for far more things at City than anything else. The sooner Jack Grealish realizes that, the better. JS says he's acting like Prime Messi. Even Prime Messi wouldn't have done something like that. JSK, two people blocking the shot, and I don't know why he's so. And see his reaction after that. Again, Jack Grealish. Oh, Erling Haaland almost gets onto him. The run from Haaland across the defender was superb. Riyad Mahrez does well to keep the ball in. Back to John Stones. Back to Akanji. De Bruyne, Akanji. One thing you observe about Akanji under pressure, he looks so composed. I know I've spoken a lot about Akanji on the show, but I just can't stop, raving about him. He's so good. And look at the reaction after Grealish missed that shot. When he hit the shot against the defender, it was as if it missed by an inch. It was as if he just missed creating an opportunity. That was just a jack shit shot. Erling Haaland in space. That's very well done by Erling Haaland. Jack Grealish trying to cut inside again, Jack. You need to play someone in that situation. It's just too predictable, Jack. You can't just cut inside every time and try to shoot it. It just doesn't work like that, Jack. Wonderful cross there. Well defended by Dortmund again. That's a foul in favor of Dortmund. But Jack Grealish is just making it so predictable. He gets the ball and he cuts inside. He gets the ball, he cuts inside. Two people defend it. It just doesn't work, Pep. Pep is discussing with Rodolfo Borrell some tactics, but it doesn't work, Pep. Grealish and Mahrez. Even if we win this game 2-0, 3-0, it just doesn't work. That's the truth. That's the truth. It just makes the spectacle boring as well when you play both Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez. Nathan Ake, very well aware to what is around him. Good awareness, good positioning from Nathan Ake. Another thing I've actually noticed about both Akanji and Ake is that they never seem to hurry even when there's a ball over the top. They always seem to be almost there or thereabouts. A few strides they are there. This tells me that they're all each of their positions is based on intelligence and going and they. It almost tells me that both Ake and Akanji love defending open spaces and that's very difficult. Pep Guardiola always says the most difficult job in my team is defending open spaces. That's why it's not so easy to be a defender in my team, and these both are making it look as if it's a walk in the park. JSK says the defense is solid. That's the only positive sign. JSK sometimes this season, I know season's very young. Kevin De Bruyne there, he somehow got ahead of his marker. Wonderful skill by Kevin De Bruyne. Just behind Erling Haaland. Otherwise, it would have been 1-0. But what a piece of skill by Kevin De Bruyne over there. Look at it. Kevin De Bruyne got into Jack Grealish's position once. And he almost created a chance for Haaland. And Grealish got into the same position 6 times, 7 times in this match. And he has wasted all those opportunities till now. And by the way, we have 0 shots on target for all of these 65% of the possession. So JSK, this season for me, I think I know it's just 5 games in the season, 5 6 games in the season, but it seems like whenever we are putting one step forward, we are going 2 steps back. Because whenever we think our attack is sorted, the defenders mess it up like Stones and Diaz did it against Newcastle, Palace, and stuff. And whenever we think the defense is solid, now look at the Pep is suddenly disturbing the front three combination. Don't know what Pep wants to find out from this combination of Mahrez and Grealish. He's found out whatever he can. Is he giving them a second chance? I don't know. The defense has been absolutely solid. Manuel Akanji on the ball. In a way, from an angle, it almost looks like Winnie striding when you watch Manuel Akanji make those strides. I know it's not comparable to our legend, but he certainly possesses some of the qualities of winning. Riyad Mahrez very well done, but he gives the ball away. It's been that kind of day for Riyad Mahrez, but for Jack Grealish, it's, it's almost a 1v. It's a 1v1 Ake versus the Dortmund player, and good positioning by Joao Cancelo and very well done by Ilkay Gundogan to get the ball back. And it's Jack Grealish again. Three players surrounding Jack Grealish, and low beyond surprise, Grealish loses possession, and lucky for us that the ball has gone out. And in the last 4, 5, 6 years, I mean, even before Pep has arrived, it's only been rare that I've said it's been a bit boring. But now it seems it's a bit boring. I said it in the Champions League match, right? What a ball almost, but it falls to Gundogan, I think. But in the Community Shield, it was boring watching Grealish and Mahrez, and now again it seems a little bit of that thing. Otherwise, the game's been good, but whenever the ball has come to Grealish and Mahrez, it's been so predictable. It almost seems like a rewind of what they're doing. Wonderful defending from Manuel Akanji. Look at that. What a piece of defending that is. Again, look at it. That is wonderful from Rodri there, but before that, the way Akanji defended the header was just very, very good. And Kevin De Bruyne almost, that's a great ball. Ah! He just couldn't play in Erling Haaland. That was just little bit. I know De Bruyne didn't have space and time there, but little bit here and there, and Erling Haaland was through. 40 minutes. Cannot say that it's been an eventful half or something. On the contrary, it's been a frustrating one, especially for us City fans. It's been a frustrating one in terms of Jack Grealish. Riyad Mahrez, I can say that he's off it, but Jack Grealish, I just think watching Jack Grealish there, he doesn't suit that position. It's as simple as that. Dortmund now with 5 minutes left in the half, they just want to go at nil-nil. They just don't want to concede. I don't know who is this Dortmund goalkeeper, but he looks good on the ball actually. Looks very good on the ball. Wonderful defending by Gundogan. And also, I don't think we are playing the inverted fullback system now. I mean, we haven't played it in this game. That's interesting. The tactical details that Pep will implement today and also in the Wolves game will be interesting because I'm sure Pep would have done something in the break about these tactical issues and stuff. Everybody thought it was good that Liverpool got a break, but even we needed a break as well because we were in fact struggling a bit. I know we have 1 points in the Premier League table, it looks comfortable, but that's a foul, ref. Yes. But we also were having tactical issues. We also were struggling a bit to play in that inverted fullback position. How do you fit Bernardo, Kevin, and Gundogan into the team? There were a lot of issues. How do you unleash Cancelo? Because Cancelo is also not looking good. I know we haven't mentioned it in this game so far, but Cancelo also looks off it, and I'm not blaming Cancelo because it's all on Pep that Cancelo is not looking good. Playing him on the left, playing him with Grealish, it's just not Cancelo's game. So over and all, half that has actually disappointed us from a City point of view. Like JSK said, it's only the defense that is been solid and that has been a feel good factor, but the attack has lacked tooth. And how many times can you say the attack has lacked tooth when you're having the best assist machine and when you're having the best goal scoring machine in the world? Cancelo misses his defensive tackle and the ball goes out and it's a City throw. JSK says subs needed. Whenever we have said subs needed JSK, how many times has Pep done it? I'm absolutely not sure what is going through Pep's mind right now. Absolutely have no clue at all what Pep is thinking. Manuel Akanji, John Stones. There's a ball on there. There's a ball on there. I don't know why Cancelo didn't play it, but the yellow ball is bouncing there in the crowd. They're just playing between themselves, you know. Akanji, Stones, Cancelo, everyone looks lost. It almost seems there's no direction, there's no specific tactical instruction. There is, it looks as if there is, we are going like a rudderless ship at the moment. John Stones on the ball. John Stones to Riyad Mahrez. Ah, almost a good ball from Mahrez. Vinay says we already knew Grealish Mahrez at wings is useless. Exactly, Vinay. Everyone knew, I think, at least 99.5% of City fans we knew right after the Community Shield game itself. We knew right in the first half of the Community Shield game. We knew that it ain't gonna work, and we were praying, asking Pep not to start both of them. I mean, not just because it won't work, but also because it just spoils the style of play. It spoils the fluidity of the game. The game has not flown in the last 6 years under Pep. How many times can you say that the game has not flown for City? I can remember only three, four instances right at the top of my mind. And out of the three instances in the last 6 years, one instance is in the Community Shield game. So you can, I don't know why Alvarez is not playing. See, there are alternatives. We are not telling here, we are not sitting here and telling that do not play Grealish or do not play Mahrez. Play them. They're very good. They're almost at a world class level. Riyad Mahrez, one of the best dribblers in the Premier League. Jack Grealish, a very exciting player, at least in the top 4 5 talents in the Premier League, but play them in the right combination, right? Like JSK said, Ford and Haaland Alvarez. Ford and Haaland Alvarez. Maybe I think Pep would like to differ with you a bit. Maybe he would think Ford and Mahrez, or Ford and Grealish, or Alvarez Mahrez. I think simply to put, it could be, should be one of Grealish or Mahrez can play, and one of Foden or Alvarez can play, and both Foden and Alvarez can play together. So your choices now will be Foden Alvarez, or Jack Grealish Mahrez one, and Foden or Alvarez one. So those could be your two choices of whom do you want to play in the wings, but never ever start Mahrez and Grealish together. I mean, even if you start them, I do think that there needs to be some tactical changes, right? For example, play Cancelo on the right. See, it's not just affecting Mahrez and Grealish here, playing them in playing them in this system. Suddenly Cancelo is imprisoned because Jack Grealish, he likes to cut in. So the spaces which Cancelo moves into, Grealish is moving in now. Suddenly you have Riyad Mahrez playing over there, and he's when he's not getting them crosses in, means that Kevin De Bruyne has to interchange and he has to go out wide. So you're suddenly limiting the impact of Kevin De Bruyne. So it's not just affecting their game, and it's affecting the games of two or three others. It suddenly means that Ikai Gundogan has to do a lot more defensive work. So I don't know. It's especially affecting Cancelo for me. He doesn't look good at all. He doesn't look good at all. So and I haven't mentioned or blamed Cancelo because I know it's not on him. It's not on his attitude or playing style. It's on the system which Pep is fitting Cancelo into. JSK says Ford and Haaland Alvarez, that's the front three, which can give us UCL. Maybe JSK, as the season moves on, maybe Pep will resort to that front three. But I think one thing in which you can maybe give Pep a bit of an excuse is Pep is always a slow starter. If you see all of his previous campaigns, right in through the first seasons, he's a slow starter. Especially in the first 2 months, Pep likes to experiment. He likes to bring in new tactical ideas, and with us generally in a normal season, I think in November or so we start to get on in the gear, and then we become a juggernaut coming through those months of February, March, April. So I do think that is one thing you can give Pep an excuse on. Maybe he starts Grealish and Mahrez now rather than starting them in February or March when we're playing an important knockout game. Bayachi says Grealish never receiving ball on the run. Absolute waste as a winger. I mean, Grealish is doing some of the stuff that Pep is asking him, like he's maintaining possession. Okay, he's given away possession in this game, but in general, he's controlling the tempo of the game. But that's it. He's only doing that one thing, which again brings his frustration. He's not doing anything further. He's not adding anything to that. He's not improving on that. Okay, as Jack Grealish, you struggle to control the tempo of the game early on, but now you've learned how to control the tempo of the game, when to move and when to maintain the width. But what about the second part of the game? What about running at defenders? What about taking them on? What about showing courage on the ball? You're not displaying any of those qualities. And that is the main reason we have bought you for, right? Just maintaining possession. We would have as well promoted Zinchenko and played him on the wing, right? He would have done better than you, Jack, in controlling the tempo and maintaining possession. So really, she's doing half, which is right, but the other half is wrong, and the other half is what really adds to that attacking impetus, and that is why games are looking flat. Games are looking boring when both Grealish and Mahrez play. Vinay says Carlos Borges, Edozi can do better than Grealish. It's the same. Vinay, it now seems that maybe Raheem Sterling can do better than Grealish. Because at least Sterling had the courage to run with the ball, right? He had the courage to take on the defenders. Seeing matches like this, it helps you wonder how much. I mean, yesterday I saw Leroy Sané's goal against Barcelona. It had pace, it has technique. The finish was out of this world. It makes you wonder that, oh, why are we not having a winger like that with who knows how to finish and who can just run with the ball at the defenders, displaying pure pace. Why have we not got such a winger? So I do think we are lacking that sort of a winger who can run at defenders. I mean, we have someone on the bench who can do that in Alvarez and Phil Foden, but not these two, not Grealish and Mahrez, especially with Mahrez looking like he's almost at the end of his career. JSK says Howards and Grealish, same condition, talented players, but spoiled, forcing them to cut out of possession. Again, JSK, and I know I just want to shout on Jack Grealish, but you know, picking out all of these faults of Jack Grealish, that he's not receiving the ball on the wing and he's not so good there. He's always trying to cut in. The only answer I think maybe I have now, and the only thing maybe Pep can clarify from this is by the way, are PSG losing? They're showing the highlights, and I think PSG are 2-1 down, or maybe that was an offside goal, but I think PSG are drawing 1-1 to that newly promoted side from Israel. Wow, it would be great if PSG lose or draw this game. Oh, PSG are actually winning, I think. But anyway, I think Pep really thinks that maybe he'll give Jack Grealish one more chance on the wing, and he can confirm that, okay, Grealish is not suited on the wings for me. Grealish is suited only in the midfield. And I still think that to get the best out of Jack Grealish, you need to put him in midfield. See, it's almost like a Bernardo Silva situation, right? I think when giving Jack Grealish the blame, when giving Jack Grealish the stick, we are forgetting that Bernardo Silva struggled a bit on the right wing position when he came, right? Before that 2018-19 season, when Bernardo Silva really came and shone for City, that the season before, there were rumors he would leave City to other clubs. He was unhappy here. He started all of the games that season on the right wing, and Bernardo Silva was also awful on the right wing when you sort of go back to Bernardo Silva's early years at City, maybe I think Jack Grealish is suffering through the same stage right now, and I think we have to think about that. And maybe it's not the best position for Jack Grealish. And also, we'll have to remember that Jack Grealish was bought for 100 million. Not to play on the wing. If Pep really wanted a £100 million winger, you know the players that Pep would go for. He would go for a Serge Gnabry or someone like that, Kingsley Coman or someone like that. There are many high profile wingers out there for 100 million. So Pep's thinking was he is to replace Bernardo Silva in that season when we were bidding for Harry Kane, right? So I actually think that this is not the right position for Jack Grealish as well. Bayajis is not going to understand Pep's obsession with out of form players. I just think that Pep wants to understand more of the best positions, the best qualities of these players. Now you might say Pep is working with them since working really since last 2.5 years, last 2 years. How can you not understand? Well, this is a sort of a new tactical system that Pep is trying to implement with the inverted fullbacks thing and stuff. So I think Pep is also still guessing like us, about certain players and the best and their best utilization in the system. So Pep is not sure about how to utilize Jack Grealish. Pep is not sure about how to utilize Riyad Mahrez. He's not even sure about how to utilize Gundogan and Bernardo Silva in the same team. So there are problems for sure for Pep to solve. It's good we have got a good start. Otherwise, pressure would have been, I'm not so pressure, but at least the media would have been calling out, just like they've been calling out Klopp. So just remember the early days of Bernardo Silva, and you'll remember that Jack Grealish is sailing in the same boat. When I says Gundo, KDB, midfield, and Grealish, Mahrez must not be allowed. Vinay, the second point, I agree with you. Grealish Mahrez is right now. At least we know that Grealish Mahrez is awful, but Gundogan KDB midfield is fine. Gundogan KDB midfield for me is fine when you have a proper winger like a Phil Foden or an Alvarez at least on one side. There was a match. I think it was against Newcastle or someone, or maybe it could have been against Crystal Palace as well. That Pep put a KDB Gundo midfield and he put Grealish and Bernardo Silva. That was also awful again. So I don't see there are certain combinations which just doesn't suit this style of play. Gundogan, KDB, Bernardo Silva playing in the same team doesn't suit this style of play. Grealish Mahrez playing doesn't suit. There are some combinations which absolutely doesn't suit, and we know how much of an obsession Pep has. I mean, this game will not decide if we are through to the knockout or not, right? But Pep played Gundogan, KDB, Bernardo Silva in the same team in the Champions League final against Chelsea. He played Gundogan as a DM. I mean, forget that. He even played Raheem Sterling as a false nine in that game with Sergio Aguero on the bench. So suddenly you have Fernandinho, who back then was in one of the best DMs in the world back then, and you had Sergio Aguero, who was still one of the most feared strikers in the Premier League in the world. You sit them both on the bench and try your crazy formation in the Champions League final. So we should not be surprised Pep's obsession. If he can do it there, he can just do it anywhere and everywhere. Baya, this is Haaland being wasted out there with these grandmas on the wings. You could not have put it more aptly, Baya. It's just a perfectly put statement. Erling Haaland, see the quality of the runs which Haaland is making, and both of them don't want to pass. Okay, Mahrez, he did not even get the chance with his stupid touches today, but Jack Grealish is drawing three players towards him. Erling Haaland is in free space. He wants to shoot. It almost seems that Jack Grealish is desperate for goals. You can see the reaction on Jack Grealish's face actually after one of his shot was blocked. Selfish play. That one reason can be enough for Pep to just throw Jack Grealish out at half time. Thierry Henry once said that the specific instruction given to Thierry Henry at Barca by Pep was to stay out wide, but Thierry Henry found it boring and he cut inside and scored a goal, and Pep hooked him off, removed him off at half time. So I think Pep, I wouldn't be surprised if Grealish is removed at half time. I just do not want to see this scrap and shit continuing through the second half again. Football Kicks says we need one direct player, maybe Foden at right wing. Exactly, Football Kicks. Foden at right wing. Who else can be more direct than Alvarez or Foden at right wing? See, two substitutes. Bring on a Foden or Alvarez in either of the wings, and bring in Sergio Gomez, which would mean Cancelo shifts to the right wing, sorry, right back position. Sergio Gomez left back position. Suddenly it opens up. Both of our fullbacks can create as well. Now John Stones is not the good crosser of the ball, or he's not a creator, right? So suddenly your output from the right wing is blocked. So right fullback position is blocked. Suddenly your output from the left fullback position is blocked because Cancelo he's having to cut in, and Dortmund players are just they're finding that too easy and too predictable to defend against Cancelo. So I mean it's almost like you yourself are tying yourself up with ropes, and then you're crying for help. That is what we are doing right now. We are just self sabotaging ourselves. I just hope this is some experiment from Pep and that's it. Today when I put out the predicted lineup video, I was like, I was very sure that Pep will play one of Alvarez or Foden on the right wing. I went for Grealish and Alvarez on both the wings. I never thought that we would see Grealish and Mahrez again play together. I think we have been discussing about this and I've been repeating this that I would never see Grealish and Mahrez playing together. I think 6, 7 times in this show, but it's the frustration gets to you so much that you just keep on thinking what a spectacle this could have been, an end-to-end game, and suddenly these idiots are blocking it. These idiots in Grealish and Mahrez, they're just keeping the ball, just recycling possession, and they are neither attacking nor they're allowing the opposition team to attack. The game's just going nowhere. It, it's it's just stagnated. That's it. Will be interested to see the tactical information from Pep because tactically Dortmund were matching us, and they were defending 4-4-2 out of position as well, pressing us with both Royce and Duiste or someone who was playing for them in the as a striker, and without a striker they're playing a 4-3-3. So City, I mean I mean in position they're playing 4-3-3. So City are doing the same. So I don't think any subs are made. All the same players are walking out again. No substitutions from City. Football Critics says that's the reason we are going all out for Rafael Leao in January. Football Critics, the problem here is not money. Money has never been a problem for City if the good player is available at the right price. But you bring in Rafael Leao, for example, in whose place do you play? See, Foden is direct, Alvarez is direct. You already have two direct players, so I actually think you have five players on the wing. Foden, Alvarez, Grealish, Mahrez, Cole Palmer. Sometimes Pep wants to stick Bernardo Silva out there. Erling Haaland with the ball. Ikai Gundogan. That is very well done by Cancelo, and Dortmund on the attack now. Dortmund almost on the counter attack there. Manuel Akanji in a 1v1 situation right now. Manuel Akanji. Very well done by Akanji again. He's not putting a foot wrong. 2 games gone. Okay, 1.5 game gone, and I have not seen Manuel Akanji do a single defensive mistake till now. But thinking deep about it, I do think that maybe we are playing Jack Grealish in the wrong position. That's the only thing. Just remember the early days of Bernardo Silva and Erling Haaland. There, almost the goalkeeper was ahead of him. But it's just that, just like Bernardo Silva found his mojo in the middle of the park, I do think that the abode of Jack Grealish is the middle of the park, not the right wing or the left wing. Ikai Gundogan, John Stones, give it to Akanji. Sorry, give it to Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne, he's been dispossessed, but Rodri almost sold him down a river there. Dortmund have played out of a press very well, and I think it's Marco Reus who's coming in. He's cutting inside. He'll switch the ball now. Yes, he switched the ball onto the right. Very well done by Nathan Ake. Excellent defending by Nathan Ake. Joe Cancelo, Nathan Ake. Addison's just booted it out. There are a couple of subs warming up. Calvin Phillips, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Julian Alvarez is there, thank God. I actually thought with Kyle Walker injured, Pep will actually give a chance to Rico Lewis. Just put him out in the deep end of the river. You never know what can happen. Just like Klopp did for Trent. I remember Klopp first played Trent against Real Madrid or some big Champions League game, right? If I'm not wrong, couple of years ago. So you never know when you put a piece of coal or chunk of coal under extreme pressure, it might just return back to you as a diamond by tolerating all that pressure. So I thought Rico Lewis should have started. I actually thought both Sergio Gomez and Rico Lewis started, and maybe Cancelo should have been given a rest. But Pep is Pep. Calvin Phillips will be a bit worried that the World Cup is coming and he's hardly got any minutes in the team. Kevin De Bruyne there in a crossing position and the goalkeeper does well. Otherwise, it was a customary tap in for Erling Haaland. The ball just didn't have enough curl on it actually. Nathan Ake, both our defenders haven't put a foot wrong. Nathan Ake, it seems as if he's returned back in the same form that he was before when he went out injured. So Nathan Ake has looked extremely impressive, and with Akanji beside him, he's looked even more good. I see one of these two playing every match. If Pep wants to go for rotation, one of these two will start every match, and the other will be rotated. With between Diaz, Stones, Laporte, I do think that could be the case. City just struggling to find those pockets of spaces. Jack Grealish, Gundogan, Cancelo, Rodri back to Nathanaake. The ball's been with Nathanaake since the last 1 minute or so. Crap ball again from Cancelo, but Cancelo does well almost. I just thought he went in front of the defense, but no, he couldn't. That's a throw in for Dortmund. Thomas Meunier with the throw in. He's come back from Paris Saint-Germain. Vinay says Rodri has been very good. Yes, Rodri has been excellent. I thought in a couple of games Rodri was not good in the Premier League, especially that Newcastle game. Rodri was just played around, and there were calls to even play Calvin Phillips ahead of Rodri in that game. And Crystal Palace game as well, I thought Rodri was okay. In the Sevilla game as well, I thought Rodri made a couple of bad passes. That's well done by Akanji again. So a couple of bad passes sold the defender down the river once or twice, but now Rodri is just looking extremely confident. Is looking like the best CDM in the world, which he was last season. It's a counter attack for Dortmund. Now it will test the solidity and the strength of our defense. Manuel Akanji with the recovery pace. But is just got it wrong. But just guys, just look at the recovery pace of Manuel Akanji there. Akanji, when I says Akanji committed could have cost us, but Akanji had to commit. But you just look at the recovery pace of Manuel Akanji over there. Uh, Akanji was, I thought, unfortunate. Let's see in the replay. Actually, I think you would maybe say it could have been a foul, but Akanji had to commit to that challenge. Otherwise, Royce would have had more time to have a shot at the goal. But look at the recovery pace of Akanji over there. Somewhere in the midfield, and he just came back. I think that challenge from Akanji, I know it could have been close, it was very close to being a pen, but I just thought it put Marco Reus off a bit. Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland. Kevin De Bruyne appeals for a penalty, but referee says no. Nathan Ake as well again. Erling Haaland with the ball. Oh, but again the touch deserts him. That was a loud shout from Kevin De Bruyne for that penalty. So let us actually see. I think the VAR is actually having a check on this. Let us just see the replay. I don't think that's a penalty, at least on the replay that we have seen. Let's see it from this angle. I don't think that's a penalty. Vinay says, I think we'll get open now. Uh, maybe not Vinay, because I think our defense will still stand strong. But Natanake, Akanji, yeah, I do understand Vinay that you are telling from an attacking point of view. I do think, yes, from an attacking point of view, maybe we'll open up a bit and play an expansive thing. But from a defensive point of view, I do think we can still. It will again tell us a bit about how Akanji and Dake can defend when everyone will go gung ho. Can they defend open spaces on their own, which our defenders couldn't do against Crystal Palace or Newcastle, for example. So I think we'll accelerate a bit more. Ake and Akanji will not have that little bit extra of a position of security that they had till now. So I think the diagonal ball to find Riyad Mahrez has been attempted thrice and four times in this half, but it's just been it's nothing. It's been nothing but a waste till now. I think there was a foul in the build-up for Dortmund, and the referee, no, he didn't give us an advantage, and Dortmund have the ball back. Dortmund switch. That is well done. That is very well done. Well defended. Very well done by Joao Cancelo. Yes, the game is just opened up a bit. It has opened more than a bit, I would say. This is where I think Haaland can find his chances. Dortmund with the corner. I think this is the first corner of Dortmund in the game. We have been pretty shit with all our corners. Let's see how we defend this. I would want us to keep a clean sheet here desperately. And Dortmund score. It's Jude Bellingham who scored the goal. How did that happen? It was from a cross from Royce, I think. This has just come from this has just come against the run of play. Just do not know how we conceded there. We defend the set piece well, and then the ball goes out. Who was marking Jude Bellingham? He just ran off the back of, was it Riyad Mahrez? I don't know. Grealish not closing down exactly, and that cross should not have been allowed actually to come in. And do you guys actually uh, realize when this happened in the past? Real Madrid second leg when we got knocked out in the semi-final. I think for the header, equalizing header from Rodrigo. What happened? Jack Grealish didn't close the incoming cross from Danny Carvajal. It's just the same repeat again. Jack Grealish has had the worst possible game. It's just a repeat. Jack Grealish not learning from his mistakes. Riyad Mahrez going off. And finally, guys, Julian Alvarez coming on. Bernardo Silva coming on. But Jack Grealish is still there. Phil Foden coming on. So I do think Jack Grealish is also off. Yes, Jack Grealish is off. Both Mahrez and Grealish are off. Now, guys, this is the combination which we always wanted to see. Let's see how this combination performs. Foden, Haaland, Alvarez, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Rodri. I do think, apart from John Stones at right back, I do think this is the best lineup which Pep can put out right now. If tomorrow we had to play a Champions League semi-final or a final or an important title game in the Premier League, I think Pep would go with this lineup, except Stones at right back. So that cross was almost undefendable. It had to be closed from the source, and Jack Grealish didn't do well. Nathan Ake, Phil Foden. Now you just look at the dynamism in the play. You look at the improvement in the play. Oh, Josh Wilson as brand has come on as well. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Nathan Ake is gone, which means John Stones has moved into the center of defense. Erling Haaland there. We have 30 more minutes, and we are gonna be in this situation many times. And this is the, especially in the Champions League, this is the situation why Erling Haaland has been bought on for goals, especially when you're a goal down. How do you respond? This is the reason why Julian Alvarez has been brought to this club for this ruthless finishing on nights like this, not when you're cruising 1-0, 2-0. Let's see the response, guys. This 30 minutes could reveal a lot in terms of have we really added something to the game by bringing in Haaland Alvarez or not. What a ball that is! There's an urgency in City's game right now. Rodri, Manuel Akanji, Rodri, Phil Foden. Look at the decision making. He's just making those decisions faster than Jack Grealish. I know Dortmund have the luxury of going on the counter attack and all right now, but Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Cancelo, Nathan Ake, switch. On the board they have shown Wilson has run Nathan Ake substitution, but Ake is still playing, so maybe they've shown it wrong. But John Stones on the right flank just ain't cutting it. It's just becoming too predictable. Pep just bring on Sergio Gomez. One more substitution. That's it. Reina is going off and Marlon is coming on. Marlon also is a highly rated player. He's from Ajax, I think, if I'm not wrong. Joe Cancelo, Nathan Ake, Edison, Rodri. Very well done by Rodri to escape pressure. Phil Foden. They're doubling up on us on the wings, but the presence of Bernardo Silva now in the midfield should just ease up that pressure. Bernardo can carry the ball through the midfield, so we'll have another outlet that we didn't have with Gundogan maybe. Phil Foden there. That's a good ball. Look at it, the ball is getting blocked at the source. It was almost the same ball which Royce gave for the goal to Jude Bellingham. Natanaki again with the ball. City just tightening the cuffs on Borussia Dortmund. What a ball from Cancelo. That is Julian Alvarez. Wonderful Julian Alvarez. That is what a touch to bring it down, but the defender gets him. Dortmund are almost on the ropes here. We just need to continue this pressure. That's all. Just continue this pressure for a bit. It's coming, guys. The goal is coming. He just runs in behind on the blind side of Haaland and all. They just lost the man. That was the thing. But the cross should never have come in. Those kind of crosses are sometimes just not defendable. Crosses from such a close range. Dortmund have a free kick there. Won't we get one chance? Won't we get one chance? That's what I'm saying to equalize. Ederson did a mistake there, but he was saved. Bernardo Silva calmly retaining possession, and that's a throw. That's City's throw. Nathan Ake, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji. Clock is ticking by. The ticks on the clock have got that much faster right now. Nathan Ake, Phil Foden. I tried to play an early ball in but decided against it. Rodri, very well done to find Julian Alvarez in space. Julian Alvarez, Kevin De Bruyne going out wide just to stretch the Dortmund defense. That's a switch from Rodri, and it's a wonderful switch. Bernardo Silva, Erling Haaland tried to put it through to Joao Cancelo, Manuel Akanji, Kevin De Bruyne, Manuel Akanji again. City not 11 Dortmund to rest. It's barrage after barrage of pressure. That was a very difficult ball to execute, but De Bruyne could do that. it's at our home as well. So this day, if it stays like this, it will send ram- reverberations across Europe. But Erling Haaland is there. Ah, for a moment I thought the ball went in actually, but look at the speed of the man. He is not offside at all. Ah, it just inches. It was just inches from going in. And I do think the goalkeeper made a bit of a save as well on that. But Haaland knows with his quality, I'm not blaming him at all. No striker would have scored that. That finish was so difficult. But at least with his quality, he should have buried it. Only Haaland could have buried it. But again, very well tried. Bernardo Silva, Joaquin Shallow, Julian Alvarez. You should just remember that Julian Alvarez is both footed, so he can go either way. Bernardo Silva there, the pass intercepted by Dortmund and City. Come on again. Eddie just pass the ball fast. Clock ticking towards the 70th minute. Nathan Ake, Nathan pass it to Phil Foden. Just hurry up. Wonderful skills by Joaquin Shallow. But that's a body to body thing. And the referee is giving more fouls. And to Dortmund, but the referee is checking the penalty appeal against Cancelo, I think. That was his body to body. The defender used, I think it was Malin who used more body strength, but did he pull Cancelo down? That's just the question. And on first looks, the answer is no. That's what even VAR has confirmed. Daniel Akanji does well. He does absolutely very well. John Stones a bit late on the ball again, but he retains the ball. Oh, what a ball that was! That was again just inches away from Erling Haaland. I think the ball was from John Stones. Maybe you almost needed a catch shallow to just put the ball a little bit in front of the defender and curl it at the right time for Haaland to come over it. Bernardo Silva Rodri does extremely well. Cancelo. Ah, what a ball that was. That was just inches away from Kevin De Bruyne. Get into it. But what a lovely ball that was from Joao Cancelo. No one was offside over there, but the Dortmund defense just couldn't do anything about it. That was such a good ball from Joao Cancelo. We are tightening the screws, but still it's not good enough. We haven't had an effort on target till now for all of our glorious possession and attempts. But you just see the sense of urgency and the sense of dynamism introduced in the game since Foden and Alvarez has come on. I would just like to see Alvarez involved in the game a little bit more. Bernardo Silva on the ball. Joao Cancelo. Bernardo Silva. John Stones. Kevin De Bruyne. John Stones. I do think John Stones is just not quite working out in that midfield position. Maybe I think you need a Sergio Gomez or someone like that there who knows how to play in that midfield position. Stones is inverting, but he's just looking a bit deserted and lost over there. That's very well done. Excellent ball recovery. That's a free kick to City. Throw the ball in fast. Now the Dortmund players are down. Just hope it's not time wasting. Nothing wrong from Kevin De Bruyne. It's the player who dived in, and the injury was the self-infliction of what he has done. That's it. Bernardo Silva, Joao Cancelo, Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden. Ah, great defending by Matt Hummels there. Otherwise, it was almost a open goal for Kevin De Bruyne to run on to. What a ball there from Phil Foden. Almost. It was an open goal for Erling Haaland to run on to. What a ball there from Phil Foden. How many of these balls have we seen in the first half? Not many, right? That's the difference between playing Grealish Mahrez and between playing these two Alvarez and Foden. Haaland will get the full 90 minutes today. He will get it. 71 minutes. This will be the first big test for Haaland. I know against Crystal Palace we were 2-0 down and Haaland really made us come out of it. He scored a hat trick and ignited the comeback there. So, ah, I just thought the ball would fall kindly for Haaland, but it didn't. Manuel Akanji does well there, but Dortmund somehow bring the ball out. And City put the ball out for a Dortmund throw, and they'll obviously take time on the throw now. As the clock ticks by, you'll see more of time wasting, which is common. Don't blame Dortmund or someone particularly for that. That was an offside. Initially, Ederson did very well to mop up the danger, but that was offside and City play out again. You know that phase which we had throughout the 60th minute, from 60 to 70th minute, we almost had Dortmund on the ropes. It's just that one chance, one chance to fall to us. That is the thing which we are, looking forward to. JSK says good thing is there will be no more Mahrez Grealish after this. JSK, if we had played Ford and Alvarez right from the starting, I bet we would have not been losing this game. The first half kind of sucked the entire momentum out of the game for us. Both of them looked absolutely awful, Grealish and Mahrez together. Just not a combination that works. Dortmund goalkeeper now is taking so much time. Akanji does well. But another good thing is the defenses looked absolutely solid. I know we're a goal down, but the goal is not because of defense. It's because of Jack Grealish not closing the player down. Nathan Ake, Akanji, Ake, Bernardo Silva, Ake, almost a good ball from Cancelo. That was a Dortmund goal kick. Now the goalkeeper will take an eternity to kick the ball, I think. And it had to be Jude Bellingham who scores against us. It had to be right. It was almost written in the stars. Pep is now running eagerly. I do think Pep needs to bring on a Julian Alvarez as well. Sorry, Sergio Gomez as well. Because John Stones is just looking out of place. Nathan Ake, the ball's just not falling for us. It's always falling for the Dortmund defenders. That's a corner for us. That's a goal kick now. I thought that was another corner. See, one thing in Champions League is never say never. I mean, not just Champions League, but football in general is never say never until the last moment. Especially the Champions League, what Real Madrid showed, not in one game, but three games last season is even in the 91st minute, games can be won. So it's just the 77th minute. What is the ref doing? The ref is not even allowing slight physical contact. Which league do you referee in? What a prat the referee has been. That was not a foul at all. It was a bloody dive from Matt Hummels. And the referee is giving a foul. What is the referee doing? What is the referee doing? I think is a Turkish referee. I do not know. GSK and Chelsea conceded goal. Are Chelsea losing GSK? Because I haven't checked the score of that game. Vinay says there's no communication between players. The second half looked good, Vinay, actually. Especially from the 60th minute to 70th minute, I thought it looked good. But it's just the ball didn't fall for us, you know. We could have easily been two goals to the good in that period of 60 to 70th minute. But Jessica says, I'm okay if you lose, at least it will be good for further. Yeah. I mean, a loss here is not too much of a. The Dortmund player is not giving the ball. It's as if he's actually thinking as if he wins this game, they'll go to the next knockout round or something. I don't know what a prat that is, that Dortmund player. What's his name? It's Malin who's come on. They're wasting time now. But yeah, it might not be such a bad thing, this defeat actually. Especially if Pep wanted to see this match as the one in which he'll experiment his tactical things, playing Grealish and Mahrez again, giving them one last chance. If you tell me this match will not go in your favor, but you will never see Grealish and Mahrez again until they make it work out in a Carabao Cup game or something, then it's fine. Then I'll take the loss on the chin. But it's not a loss till there's 11 more minutes to go, and we know 11 more minutes are too many minutes. What a goal from John Stones! What a goal! Wow! He was the only player we were thinking that, oh, he's not fitting in with the system. Remove him, Pep. But he's the one who scored the goal. What that will do to John Stones' confidence, guys, more than anything else. What will that goal do to the confidence of the man? I mean, just wonderful. John Stones, out of all the people, the goal has come from the most unexpected source. What a wonderful goal. Look at the way John Stones gets over the ball. Wow. What a banger. Fire on target. First shot on target, Vinay. It's almost like John Stones has thought, shoot it sight. I will. I will shoot if I get an opportunity. Wow. I mean, almost the way in which John Stones has got onto that ball. Did it remind you of anything, guys? Man City against Leicester. Everyone thought the title was gone. 2018-19 season. A certain club legend called as Vincent Kompany just buries the ball into the top corner. It almost had that sort of a flash, especially the way Stones got over the ball. Wonderful, wonderful strike from John Stones. I mean, more than anything else, I'm delighted for the confidence that the shot will give to the man because he's looked low on confidence. And Rodri, Phil Foden, Pep has given strict instructions to Phil Foden while City were celebrating Stone's goal. Bernardo Silva, City out for the kill. We are now like sharks who have smelled blood in the blue sea. Rodri, Julian Alvarez, Bernardo Silva. We are smelling blood, guys, right now. Joao Cancelo, Phil Foden. Foden does well. It's a throw in. Yeah. JSK says that idiot is the same one who refereed the Madrid game second leg. Oh, JSK, I didn't know that. Wow, that's a good pick out. Now I understand why he's doing that. He's just he's just giving fouls when there are no fouls. I mean, stupid referees just not allowing the game to flow on. Julian Alvarez, Kevin De Bruyne. Ah, almost. Kevin almost got that cross onto a dime. Very well done, Julian Alvarez. Wonderful. Joao Cancelo. What kind of a finish is that? You are just not allowed to finish that. You are just not allowed to finish in that way. It's almost unfair. It's almost illegal to finish in that way. It's just not allowed. You're not someone from the earth if you finish that way. It's not allowed, Erling Haaland. What a finish that is! I almost feel that it's a pity that opponents have to face this. What a finish that is! How can someone finish that? How can even someone do that? It almost seems unfair when he does that. And Erling Haaland is never offside. I am sure that he's never offside. And look at the finish. It's almost someone jumping in the. I mean, how can you even get a control or the touch of the ball in that position? It's almost like a scissor. He's attacking the ball like a scissor. Just putting it. That is unfair. Outside of the boot, flying high. That is just not allowed, Erling. What a gem you are. Love you, Erling Haaland. What a goal. Vinay says, what a ball. Yes, exactly. What a ball from Cancelo and what a goal. This is what you have been missing from Cancelo. See a game until the 75th minute that we thought was all doom and gloom. But Dortmund attacking now. No, he's not celebrating. JSK is not celebrating. He just said, come Dortmund attacking now. Ah, that was so close. That was so close, right? No, JSK, he wasn't celebrating. He just said, calm, calm. That's it. But Dortmund again coming close. But I do it was a defensive lapse actually. The player there didn't square it off. Otherwise, we were in trouble. But Cancelo, look at the mojo of Cancelo. Thank you. I'll update the score right now. Thank you, JSK. Bernardo Silva. But the goal from Haaland, keep him at all costs. Exactly. I mean, there can be no cost put on such a player, right? It's just that he's priceless. That's the only thing I would say. I heard someone on the social media telling today that we the Premier League should have allowed City to have Haaland, sorry, City to have Harry Kane. In that way, we would not have got till Haaland. The guy who was telling it was worried that City have got till Haaland. So that's how much people are afraid of us. Now, Phil Foden there. Oh, that was almost a great ball. Almost a great ball. A night that seemed as if, the media would have had something to write about, would have had something to celebrate, a score that would have had something in terms of reverberation across Europe, that City beaten at their home. Is the Haaland charm coming to an end? All the media thought they will have news like that, but no, not till we have Haaland in our team. But what a goal that is! Are they showing Alfinge Haaland there in the crowd? He was just almost mimicking his son's uh, style of scoring goal, how he just lifted the leg. But how do you score like that with two defenders near you? This must be scary for defenders, right? Just because it's Rory in the mud, he was always in the mud, right? He said 15 goals all season, and I think Haaland will score 15 goals at the beginning of September itself. Kevin De Bruyne there with the ball. That is wonderful. Julian Alvarez. But maybe just, yeah, I think just a bit about Rory. I just think that maybe he got into that mode of Chelsea buying all those expensive strikers, right? Alvaro Morata, then Romelu Lukaku going wrong for them. None of the strikers, even they bought in Alexandro Pato, none of the strikers working out for Chelsea. So I do think maybe it even involved an element of kind of having a bit of that jealousy inside, that okay, all of the big names haven't worked for Chelsea, so they should not even work for City. Something I think he was in that kind of a mindset, and that's the reason why I think he thought Haaland would not score those many goals and all. Dortmund are now making a taking of Marco Reus, which means that they almost know the game is done, but never say never. After that Real Madrid game, especially for me, it's never say never. But Julian Alvarez, was it? He should have finished it. That's chalk and cheese for him. He should have just finished that one and put the game to bed. Julian, I was it Julian Alvarez or was it Bernardo Silva? I think it was Julian Alvarez who missed that chance, but it's Rodri. He's done well. Phil Foden with the ball. JS he was one of the first who wanted to kill out. I actually have a soft corner for Tuchel here. I mean, especially since he wasn't given. I mean, especially what the owner did. He wasn't given the players who he wanted in the champion in the transfer window. Even last season, I don't think that Tuchel actually wanted Romelu Lukaku in the first place. However, you might put it, Romelu Lukaku is not a Thomas Tuchel player. Thomas Tuchel striker is a technical striker, kind of likes to work with those strikers who can play in small spaces, whose touch is good and stuff. So Lukaku wasn't a Tuchel striker, and then I think it just went downwards from there. This owner, wonderful by Nathan Ake, and it's a corner. Is it a corner or is it a goal kick? I think it's a goal kick. So I I I feel a bit pity for Thomas Tuchel, because I think he was thrown under the bus. He never wanted Romelu Lukaku. He never wanted all those barrage of defenders which Chelsea were signing. He wanted someone who could finish, and they didn't give him. They give him Raheem Sterling, who's the last one you want to bring into a team when you want goals. And then the midfield was aging, and Golo Kante was not playing. Tuchel had to make do with Jorginho, who's not. Tuchel's system wants you to be agile across the midfield, and Chelsea's midfield was not having that. So I think Chelsea's owner, especially the new owner, made a mockery of the transfer window. He spent money, but spending money doesn't always mean you have a good transfer window. JSK says, by the way, this owner is complete mad. He said KDB and Salah are made in Chelsea Academy. And also, this owner wanted to play an All Stars game, right? The North clubs, North London clubs versus the South London clubs or something like that. Klopp was asked about this in his press conference, and Klopp said, "If you find a date in the diary, please tell me as well. And I want to attend this game." He's mad. I mean, the first sign of madness is it's almost like who. I mean, I don't think there will be any other owner in the history who would appoint himself as the transfer director. You do not have any experience, you just have money, right? You do not have any experience, and how can you be the transfer director? How can you overrule a head coach who's won the Champions League? I mean, and and there's a reason why when a company, for example, it acquires another company, they generally keep hold of the people who are in the company they acquired, because they are the ones who have the know-how, right? It was completely insane that the Chelsea owner let go of all of those wonderful transfer people who were working under Roman Abramovich. That is just complete utter nonsense. That tells me that he doesn't have good business sense as well. That's the minimum thing. You keep the people who were working under the previous regime. See, for instance, Pep Guardiola as well. When he first came in, he kept, oh, a Dortmund player. For a moment I thought it was a goal. For a moment I thought the ball went in. It was Marland, right? For a moment I thought it went in. Just look at his dribbling skills. He went through Calvin Phillips and John Stones, but it was actually way off. It was wider than you actually it actually seemed to the naked eye. But yeah, it tells me that he doesn't have even normal business sense as well. This Chelsea owner. Okay, United owners is shit accepted, but at least they have some sense. They have at least some kind of football people dealing with the transfers. This guy, even I think he batted out Peter Cech as well out of that transfer team. It's just utter nonsense and stupid. JSS he has sacked everyone from Marina, the director and everyone else before kicking out Tuchel. Exact. They are fighting now. That now Dortmund and City are fighting. I don't know what the fight is about. Now the referee is also getting mad. I don't know what this referee is on. I actually think in a way it might be good for Thomas Tuchel to go, because he would never have been made. I mean, whatever Thomas Tuchel did, he never would have been made to be at home and under this new ownership, because right from the way the new owner was behaving, it almost seemed that he wanted everyone of his own. That again tells me he has a bit of trust issues as well. So Pep Pep got a yellow card from the referee. Pep told something to the referee, and then the referee gave Pep a yellow card, and uh, and then Pep is now going on and hugging the referee. I think Pep was not talking about this game. Pep was also talking about the Real Madrid game. But who cares? Pep got a yellow card, and the comeback is complete. And I think this is one of the Haaland is now trying to go and separate Pep and the referee. I don't think that's a good thing to do early. Let the big guys do the talk. Why do you want to go and separate Pep and the referee? I don't think any player before, I don't think I've seen any player before do that, separate the ref and the manager talking to each other. I mean, this is interesting what Haaland is trying to do. So yeah, I think speaking about Tuchel, it's actually a good thing that Tuchel is gone, because it's waste to work under a manager who does under a owner who doesn't trust you. And by the way, Vinay, yes, the comeback is complete, and I think this is the first of many comebacks, especially in the Champions League, that will be completed. The reason why we bought Erling Haaland is for nights like this, Without Erling Haaland, this game would have been 1-1. That John Stones goal, the goal was very good, but you would not say, okay, out of 10 times, two, even if it goes in two times, it's very good, right? But that Haaland goal, that was the difference. Otherwise, you would not have been able to make the complete comeback. I, I remember Karim Benzema's goal, in the first leg when we played Real Madrid, Ferland Mendy crosses a ball and the XG of the cross was 0.2 or something, and Karim Benzema scores it. I think the XG on this ball also would be similar to that. So I think this is the difference in going all the way in the Champions League, going close to winning the Champions League, going close in those crunch moments. Last season, especially, what happened against Real Madrid, it has actually convinced me that, for winning the Champions League, there are two things which you can't actually sacrifice. You can't actually think I'll cover it up, even if you're Pep Guardiola or Arrigo Sacchi or anyone else, it doesn't matter. The first thing is a ruthless goal scorer. Second thing is a very good shot stopping goalkeeper. It is only Courtois and Benzema who single-handedly won Madrid the Champions League. You can talk Vinicius, but who got the goals in the crunch moments? So I think Pep has realized that, and Ortega Ederson is the only thing for me. And other than that, it's, by the way, Chelsea drew with Salzburg. So other than that, I pretty much think in the second half, Pep has put out his best lineup. Maybe apart from John Stones at right back, Pep has put out his best lineup. In the first half, I mean, you can say that this was a game of two halves. When I say Pep experiment success, yes, exactly, a grand success. First half lethargic. First half almost seemed like the continuation of the Community Shield. It was a Community Shield sequel. That's how the first half seemed. It seemed so. It seems so lazy. It seems so lethargic. It seems so sloppy. These are the three words that you never associate with the Pep Guardiola team, and that's what it actually seemed in the first half. But again, like we were talking after the Sevilla match last time, Pep needs to go on and find solutions to these. How do you fit these players? I mean, how do you fit Mahrez, Grealish in this team? Do you give a new position to Jack Grealish? I think this one point, okay, Mahrez is out of form. I do accept that, but more than Mahrez, I'm scared about Jack Grealish because Jack Grealish is in form. It's not that he's in out of form. He's struggling with the positional sense. It almost seems that Jack Grealish does not enjoy being thrown out on that wing. So I think Pep needs to have a hard think about Jack Grealish actually. Can he play him in the midfield? But Gundogan, KDB, Bernardo Silva, potentially Pep is preferring a Cole Palmer in the midfield. So you have to adjust Calvin Phillips there. Suddenly you have 4 to 5 options other than Jack Grealish in the midfield. So this will be a challenge for Pep. For people who think we are ready to go, Haaland will gulp everything up. No, Haaland is the cutting edge, but if the engine doesn't work well behind him, if the supply line is not good, I actually don't think that we can do justice to what Haaland brings to the team. So Pep needs to work. You have seen if because of Grealish and Mahrez, because of that situation, suddenly the entire engine stopped. Suddenly Haaland seemed dysfunctional. So actually it's an important problem that Pep should go and resolve. But Julian Alvarez for me, people might say no assist, maybe should have finished the chance for the third goal. But Julian Alvarez brought the dynamism, brought the pressing, and like everyone in the comments was always saying, I think Julian Alvarez is. I think Julian Alvarez needs to start more games than is starting now. Ford and Alvarez really looks to be a lethal combination for me. It really looks like it would be a repeat of lethal combinations in the history of football. Like you had Benzema, Bale, Ronaldo at their best. You had an MSN. You had Messi, Suarez, Neymar at their best at Barca. This combination of Alvarez, Haaland, Foden could be something like that. Could be in that ilk. If Pep can play three of them together. Football picture Stones is more comfortable at right back than centre back. But Football Freaks actually thought that defensively as well, Stones, he allowed one two dribbles to happen. He was not that strong on one on ones like Walker is. But then again, I thought we faced the same problems that we actually faced with Walker, with John Stones. He's not good at putting the ball inside, which actually means that no, the opponents know that the right hand side, at least from outward, the service will not come. So you can defend narrow, at least on that from that right hand side. And by the way, for that Haaland goal, the assist in itself was superb. The assist in itself was as good as the finish. Outside of the boot assist, that was just a world class. It was a world class creation put away by a world class finisher. Josh Ramon says it's so weird that Ake is left back, but Josh Ramon Ake played at centre back, right? And also Ake at Chelsea actually started his career as a left back. So and then he switched to centre back when he went to Dortmund. So I think Ake is used to playing at left back, but Ake is not suited for that left back position in a Pep system because Pep loves to have his fullbacks be extremely good on the ball. He loves to have his fullbacks cut inside, and Ake is not suited to be a left back in a Pep system. But Ake has come through the youth ranks playing a left back, so I'm not. At least it doesn't feel weird to me seeing Ake at left back. What feels weird is I think against Madrid or something, Pep played Fernandinho at left back even when Ake was available. That actually felt weird to me. Josh Ramon says also where is Foden? Foden played in the second half. It was just that Pep didn't start him. So if you didn't follow the match from the beginning, it was just a disaster made in the first half. It was almost like Grealish and Mahrez were playing on either wings, and then they were not creating in anything else. And then Foden and Alvarez came on. But see, two things for me which Pep really has to figure out before the international break, at least until the international break is complete, he has to figure it out. You know, he has to figure out the position of Jack Grealish. He has to figure out the position of Joao Cancelo because he just can't keep playing Cancelo on the left. You know, last season as well. Last season at the end it actually showed, you know, against Aston Villa for example, in the game against Brighton when Cancelo was at left back, we were just defending narrow. So teams are getting used to Cancelo cutting inside and then defending predictably against us. So I think Pep will have to figure out where does Jack Grealish play, where is his best thing, and also where does Cancelo play. I think the best combination at the back is Sergio Gomez on the left and Cancelo on the right. I think that brings the greatest balance. Now with Walker getting on with age, I do think Pep will have to. You can't expect Walker to play every game, so Pep will actually have to rotate him game on game. So in our best 11, at least in my mind, it's Sergio Gomez on the left and Cancelo on the right. That will suddenly make other teams be shit scared because now Gomez can go outside and inside. Cancelo can go outside and inside. Cancelo is excellent at crossing. Gomez is excellent at crossing. So suddenly, as a defense, you need to go narrow. And when you go narrow, what happens? You have a De Bruyne making runs in from the middle. You have a Gundogan. You have a Bernardo Silva making those runs in the middle. And also you have to deal with Erling Haaland. You have to deal with the wingers cutting in. It suddenly opens up a new dimension for you which is not opening now. Not just a new dimension, it suddenly opens up a new galaxy of ideas attacking wise. I know we have won this game 2-1, the goals are coming for City and all, but for me the attacking ideas seem a little bit stale. The attacking ideas, they seem that we are almost going just in one dimension. There's no two three different ways of attacking. It's just almost like get to the wings, cross a ball in for Haaland, or give the ball to Kevin De Bruyne, play a through ball to Haaland. It's as simple as that. And when you're a centre back playing against it, You actually know, okay, I'll have to defend against a through ball, a cross, will defend narrow, that is fine. But with Gomez, left back, Cancelo, right back, it's suddenly different. You have to defend against a through ball, you have to defend against a Cancelo cross from out wide, you have to defend against a Cancelo outside of the football, you have to defend against Gomez cutting inside and overloading the midfield. A lot of options. So I really want Pep to look at it even more strongly. The personnel which is employing on the flanks. JSK says, I think we need to give Haaland a new contract next year to wear off his 200 million release clause. But JSK, that's how Haaland works, right? So he whatever contract Haaland will sign, he will have a release clause in it. And I'm not actually against players having a release clause in the contract, especially because of what happened to Harry Kane. Harry Kane is now in a sort of a golden cage, right? I understand as a footballer, you sign a new contract for the stability, for your financial stability, for the stability of a family. You do not want to be in a position where 1 year left on the contract. I've still not signed a contract. I do not know where my kids will go to school next year. So you don't want to be in that situation. I know that, but when you're a supremely talented player, I think it's always good to have that release clause in your contract. Look at Harry Kane. He will end the career sadly without winning anything. Maybe he might win a Carabao Cup or FA Cup if it happens very well. But other than that, do you guys see Harry Kane winning anything? No. With City, he would have surely won things. After that Harry Kane issue, especially, I'm like, let the players have the release clause. If they're unhappy, they'll go. And anyway, at City, the policy is if the players are unhappy, we leave them. We do not bind them to a golden cage like a Spurs did. So, management, everything is top class. It's not just the players, it's not just the manager. The attitude runs right from the board till the grassroots, and that is the best thing about City. JSK says the deal will be much easier since Raiola is gone. But JSK, again, I think Haaland is smart enough to have a release clause in the contract. Vinay says Cancelo's balls into the box. I can't even describe those balls into the box. People say prime Mesut Ozil. People describe him and all, but I think if you look at Cancelo's balls into the box, they remind you of Mesut Ozil supplying service to Cristiano Ronaldo in that 2009, 10, 2010, 11 Real Madrid team, and they were at their peak. So that's how good Cancelo is. That's why I'm like very, very particular about where Pep plays Cancelo. I want him to just play on the right on the right flank, because that would just get a lot more out of him. That would open new attacking ideas for me. Football features City letting opponents score so that City does a comeback, especially in that 75 to 85 minutes area. Real Madrid 2.0. Football features not just 2.0, I think it's Real Madrid 4.0. I mean, actually, we are not even comparable to Real Madrid. We are carving out a niche for ourselves. We are carving out name for ourselves. So in the comebacks. In the Premier League, we did a comeback. Now we are doing this season already two comebacks, right? Three comebacks I could say. Newcastle was a comeback. Crystal Palace was a comeback. This is a comeback. So few issues to sort out for me, especially that fullback position, especially John Stones. Where do you play? Who is your best centre back pairing? Two, three issues for Pep to sort out. But one thing I'm very sure Pep has sorted out today is never to play Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez again. I think if he plays Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez again, fans will come to the ground and they will say it, and they will demand Pep withdraw them. Otherwise, we will not allow the game to go go through. That's how much fans are frustrated right now with seeing Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez together. Vinay says. Grealish flop, not a good sign. JSK, I don't want Madrid to take him in 2024. No, JSK. Madrid, I mean, the way we are growing from strength to strength, I think by 2024 we will be in a much, much more superior position than Real Madrid. So it's our era. Our era is coming. The era in terms of having that strength and having that stranglehold on players. when Barca and Madrid used to do in the 2000s, starting from the mid 2000s, and it continues till now, right? That players don't want to leave them. We are almost getting to that stage. So I don't think Madrid will have that power to take away Erling Haaland from us. Football critics for me, Cancelo reminds me of Danny Alves or Jordi Alba. Football critics for me, he reminds me of Mesut Ozil in terms of the balls he gives. Because I don't think Jordi Alba or Danny Alves can give outside of the footballs. You can. I think you can count on fingers the players who can give those outside of the foot crosses consistently, so perfectly. In the last 20 years, if you count, there will be hardly 5 to 10 players like that in the whole world who could do that. So Cancelo is, I think Cancelo is just out of this world. For me, Cancelo's deliveries are sometimes better than Trent Alexander-Arnold, especially the outside of the footballs that he gives. Vinicius Cancelo doesn't put balls directly. He'll dribble, cut back, then that. In meantime, opponents regain their shape. Exactly when I just imagine Cancelo instead of dribbling and doing all that shit, he just puts the balls in directly first time. Those would be impossible to defend against, right? Just like he did today. The ball he put to Haaland is impossible to defend against. It's both the centre backs were tied to Erling Haaland. It's the ball is just impossible. I think no coach can teach you how to defend that. So it was an almost impossible cross to defend against. So I think Cancelo will have to actually understand that better. In terms of putting the balls in faster. And I also think maybe playing on the right, he can put those balls in faster, much easier because sometimes on the left, opponents crowd him, and I think that is one of the reasons why Cancelo maybe thinks that he needs more space to get into, more space to dribble into. I think that's why he takes on players. Football fixes, I think Akanji and Diaz is perfect, but maybe Akanji and Laporte will be perfect in complement each other. A right foot and left footed combination. Football kicks for me, it's Akanji and Nathanake in Champions League games, and Akanji and Laporte in Premier League games. Why Akanji and why I prefer Ake over Laporte in the Champions League is that Laporte, when attacker is running 1v1 against Laporte, he's just not confident. You look at 2019 Spurs against Spurs, what happened? There are many instances. Crystal Palace last season when Zaha was running, Laporte pulled him down, took a red card and went. So whenever someone runs against Laporte 1v1, Laporte just, Laporte is, phased. Laporte almost goes into a shell. Natanake, on the other hand, I think is one of the best, at least in the top two 1v1 defenders in the Premier League. 1v1, the physicality he shows always makes the right decisions. I think for the Champions League knockout games, Ake and Akanji are perfect. Has the recovery pace which Laporte doesn't have. For the Premier League, I think you have a bit more time. It's not the end if you spoil a 1v1, like it could be the end in a Champions League and also in a Premier League. Teams will park the bus more against you. So I think you need that creativity of Laporte. So I think it's Laporte, Akanji in the Premier League for me, and Akanji Ake in the Champions League. Football features Laporte and Diaz in the Premier League and Akanji and Ake in UCL with Walker and Stones rotating for right back and Cancelo and Gomez in left back. But football picks Laporte and Diaz in the Premier League. Do you think that can work? I know it worked last season, but there's a major fault in that combination. The fault is that both do not have recovery pace. And now teams essentially, and with Pep also playing the inverted fullback position, inverted fullbacks and stuff, teams are sensing that okay, we'll put a pacey attacker in behind. Like Newcastle put Saint Maxim and Almiron, Crystal Palace put Eze, so even Villa put Ole Watkins and even Coutinho to an extent, Leon Bailey. So actually think that teams are exploiting that. So we need to have a pacey centre back. You saw today, right? Akanji with this recovery pace just put off Marco Reus. Otherwise, Marco Reus could have scored that goal. So actually think either one of Akanji or Ake will be present in whatever the centre back partnership is. I will not say that just play both of them always, but either one of them I think will be present actually in whatever centre back partnership Pep chooses. Football Tricks is wasn't there a sub Wilson as friend? I mean, I actually saw Nathan Ake pass the ball. I mean, you can recognize Nathan Ake very easily, right? The hair and all, pass the ball, and suddenly the board was there. Wilson has friend Ake. I mean, for a second I was confused. I just saw Ake pass the ball, but how did the board come? Wilson has brand. Oh, what happened? And then I think it was a false board actually. It was a false graphic error. Otherwise, maybe Pepper did the substitution and then thought maybe it wasn't necessary. I don't know, but overall, I thought maybe Sergio Gomez should have been given a chance, but he didn't. Maybe he will start in the next game for us. Vinay says, did the goalkeeper pull out his hand from John's shoot? It seems like that. It seems like that on the replay, but what I have a feeling is that maybe the ball just went fast. By the time the goalkeeper reacted, the ball just went fast, and the reflex action shows that the goalkeeper maybe pulled out. But I just think the speed in real time was so much that the ball just went before the goalkeeper could do anything. Football reaches, and again by the BVB and City game ended in 2-1, so it's now 6-3. I think 2-1 is is a lucky chance goal line for City against against Borussia Dortmund, so they will always concede that goal before making a comeback. But anyway, overall, a very good game. A game that was frustrating in the first half, but delighted us in the second half. Very happy that we won the game, but a lot more questions to be answered, a lot more puzzles to be. It's not as bad as I'm sounding like puzzles to be answered and all, but little bit of things here and there, which I think we have to resolve when we are in a good stretch of form. So I think Pep needs to figure the tactical part of it out fast. And we'll be interested to see what Pep does in the next game. The next game for us is against Wolves. It's a Saturday 5 o'clock kickoff, 5 o'clock here in Indian time. So it's an early evening game. I don't quite like the early evening games actually. It's because I don't know why City early evening games. It always makes me a bit nervous. Football creases and Bellingham scoring again. Vinay says whenever Ake starts his left back, I don't feel confident. Yes, whenever Ake starts his left back, I mean, the only thing is the confidence is attacking wise. We're not confident, but defensive wise, Ake always does well. Whichever role he starts at the fullback positions. But I don't. But I mean, when I saw the lineup, I actually thought Ake could be a left back, but it's good that Ake played at centre back. For one, he showed how the partnership with Akanji could be, and it's just like both of them understand each other from the off. It's just been so good. Pina says that Manibepe scored two, and he scored two against a newly promoted team, right? And it just doesn't feel interesting watching PSG games. I don't know. I can't outline the exact reason, but it just doesn't feel that sense of enthusiasm and excitement you have, right, watching football games in general. Like yesterday, Bayern Barca was very good. I was seeing Liverpool, Ajax, the style of play was good. But whenever I want to watch PSG, there's just not the mood for it. I don't know why. Maybe for Messi, I watch a bit, but it's just not interesting watching PSG at all. Football Freaks says, man, we need Bellingham as Gundogan's successor. It will be difficult, I think, Football Freaks, because some of the media surrounding Liverpool are telling that Liverpool might get Jude Bellingham in January itself because James Milner, the injury situations surrounding Thiago, they have got in another player on loan who is known for injuries in Arthur. So there's a high chance they say Jude Bellingham might go to Liverpool, but I think we'll fight till the end. We'll see what happens. It's very difficult, the Jude Bellingham transfer as well. When I say so, Liverpool FC will go full on Bellingham transfer as he has scored versus City, yes, and their fans will not stop raving about it for the next 1 week, 2 weeks. I think how Bellingham can uplift Liverpool and single handedly bring them into a title race versus City and stuff. But Nathanaaki Akanji was the pairing for me. Was almost a very very good positive. Other than the comeback for me, that we at least know our best defensive pairing. Football coaches, why don't we go for Lucas Hernandez? Is a left back or a centre back? Has as well. His brother is Theo Hernandez, right? Who's a proper left back. I actually we were linked to two players in January last season. I mean, before the summer transfer window, towards the end of last season, the two players were Abner Vinicius and Theo Hernandez. I think both are AC Milan players. And the only reason we didn't go, and both had excellent speed. Abner Vinicius was younger and he had very good things. The only reason why we didn't go for either of them was lack of an ability like a Cancelo, lack of excellent ability on the ball. They are good on the ball, but not an excellent ability like a Cancelo or people like that, which Pep really demands. So I actually think that it's not just going for a fullback, it's going for a fullback who is excellent on the ball and is good defensively, and that is very rare, right? And who can go into the midfield. Now tell me, where do you get all of these qualities? Unless you're training people in their youth levels as how to be a pseudo left back, like unless you're giving training to players how to be a central midfielder as well as a left back, you will not get players who can play both the positions, who can play inverted fullback things well. Bayaji says we were linked with Theo at Milan. Exactly, Theo Hernandez at Milan and Abner Vinicius at Milan as well. We were linked to both of them, and I was excited as well that we would finally get a left back. But sources say the only reason we didn't pursue that one was uh, their inability to play the inverted fullback position. Sources say that especially with the impending arrival of Haaland, Pep wanted to make some brave tactical changes, sweeping tactical changes, and one of them involved the necessity to play inverted fullbacks because he wanted to be more assured on the counter. Now that he'll not play false nine and there'll be a body less in the midfield, so that lack of inverted fullback playing ability for both of them prevented us going for Theo Hernandez and Abner Vinicius. Bhaiya, this is under Pellegrini City were linked with both in the same window. Yes, under Pellegrini we were linked, but I think under Pellegrini it was a bit of a stronger link. But here there was real good interest. It didn't come out in the press, but there was real good interest for City. We just didn't pursue it. That's all. Football Grid says, yeah, Theo Hernandez, but Lucas Hernandez could be a great centre back. But Football Grids, we already have so many centre backs, right? We already have four centre backs, and look, Mbiti is on loan, Callum Doyle is on loan. There's another centre back, Taylor Howard Bellis is on loan at Burnley under Vincent Kompany. So suddenly you're having five, six, seven centre backs who are almost close to first team. For me, Luka Mbiti and Taylor Howard Bellis are ready to play in the first team. It's just that there's no space for them. That's why they're not playing. Football Critic says we need a proper winger. I hope we pull off Rafael Leao deal as soon as possible. Give 120 million and get that guy. He might be the missing piece. But Football Critics again. Uh, if you just go after missing pieces, I think whenever you plug a hole, then a new hole will appear in terms of the missing piece, because when you get Rafael Leao, suddenly now you'll start to question about the lack of Rafinha's ability to control the tempo of the game. You'll be telling that Rafinha just plays in one way and teams will get more of a chance to counter attack us, like what happened against Newcastle. So I mean, each signing, I think we need to look at it like this. Each signing will bring with it its positives and negatives. So if we want to have a complete system which works 100%, I think it's not possible. It's a game of football and there will be flaws. That's what makes this game so beautiful. Every team can be beaten by every other team. Every team has its flaws. But the hallmark of champions is, despite their flaws, they still manage to come up and win against all the odds. people think the best thing about champion teams is they win because of the talent and the ability, but the reality is they win because of working the backside off. They win because of because of overcoming their shortcomings instead of trying to complain about the shortcomings and fill all of the shortcomings. So I think it will never be possible to complete that missing piece. There will always be missing pieces coming. It's just a cycle. It's just that how do you make use of the best things with what you have. We didn't have a striker. That was the missing piece. And still we went close to Champions League twice, right? And we won the Premier League against a rampant Liverpool team, against one of the best teams in Europe for the last 2 3 years. So we still did well with missing pieces. No left back for 6 years straight, right? We still did well without a left back and won 5 Premier League titles in all of those years without a left back and 4 Premier League titles. So I think missing pieces are not the thing, but the thing is how do I make the best of Jack Grealish, for example? That I think we should go on and try to address those issues. Football Critic says that's why we need a direct player at one wing and technical player on the wing, like what we did against Sevilla. That was the perfect lineup, exactly, Football Critics. And the intriguing thing here is Julian Alvarez and Foden. I think on the outside it might seem that both Julian Alvarez and Foden both are your fast, pacey, direct wingers, and you can't control the tempo of the game with them. But if you really observe today's game closely, for example, Julian Alvarez retained the position well. He controlled the tempo on one side, and Foden was just going gung ho on the other side. He was just running uh, attack after attack. He was running after his man. So that and the beauty of it is Julian Alvarez can do the other thing as well if it is needed. He can also be that impetus provider, run at the man, which a Mahrez can't do, which a Jack Grealish can't do. So I actually think Julian Alvarez is a two-in-one player here. He can run at the opposition defense. He can play like Grealish or Mahrez and control the tempo. So, so I think more than Sevilla, this winger combination is very good for me. Football pitches, Mahrez and Alvarez and Grealish and Foden. That's also a very good thing. But in the absolute best games, again, I think it depends on which stage of the game you're in. Are you chasing a game? Then you put on Foden and Alvarez. Are you actually trying to protect a 1-0 lead? You want to control the tempo. The opposition is going counter attack after counter attack. Then I think you put on a winger who controls the tempo. So I just think it depends on the situation. But if it was a very important game, if it was a knockout game, I would actually play Alvarez and Foden for me. Both of them have the technical ability. I'm surprised that Foden doesn't control the tempo of the game as much because he's a midfielder and he should be learning those things in his trade as well. Again, I don't want Foden to become like Grealish just slowing out his game and stuff. The acceleration, sudden acceleration for Foden is his best attribute actually. But with Grealish, I would seriously look into his best position. I do not think his best position, it reminds me of Bernardo Silva. I know I've said this earlier in the show, but it reminds me of Bernardo Silva in his early days struggling at City on sticking out on the right wing. I actually think that the best position for Grealish is in the midfield. It depends on what Pep will do to him and address this issue. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for joining the show. It's been wonderful. It's been a great comeback for City. What goals we have seen, wonderful, and great conversations with you guys as well as always. Just been superb chatting to you all. Football critics as fans, we are getting furious of Alvarez not getting the start for me. Pep might have seen something in training, which is why he's not starting Alvarez. Then what has Pep seen from Jack Grealish in training that is starting him? I don't know if you've seen something in training because this even Manuel Akanji was actually telling that in an interview that he was really impressed by Julian Alvarez in training. So all of the players, that's the thing about Julian Alvarez that is coming out from all the players as well. But you're right, maybe some technical thing which Pep wants Alvarez to perfect. We do not know. We do not know. Nothing against Pep, but as fans, I think we comment on the match, we on based on what we see. So if Pep sees something in training and he holds him back and unleashes him at the best sort of time, then it is kudos to Pep. But the only thing for me is again that Jack Grealish position, and that's all. Maybe in the midfield, maybe again Pep has seen something in Jack Grealish that he thinks he'll make a perfect left winger for us. I do not know. We'll have to see how it turns out going forward. Football glitches, you remember Bayern Munich game, Grealish had that bond, Haaland, which others slowly building up. But football tricks, there was a major thing when Grealish had that bond with Haaland. The fullback who always in the preseason was Josh Wilson as friend. So when a fullback overlaps Jack Grealish, it almost seems like it almost seems like Jack Grealish will get back to his best. So Jack Grealish always is at his best when he's playing with the traditional fullback. But the system we are playing in is inverted fullback system because Cancelo can't overlap because he's not a natural left-footed. Sergio Gomez can overlap, but that's not his game. I mean, we are now going towards the inverted fullback system, and I think Grealish needs to adjust. Then I don't see the other way that Pep trying to again adjusting the entire system to fit in Jack Grealish. That is just not going to happen. That is just not possible. So I actually think Jack Grealish needs to adjust, and so that's why I think I question always. Is the left wing the best position for Jack Grealish? With it known that we will not play a traditional fullback, traditional left back now. So the answer is simple. The answer is it's not. It's the midfield that is the best. And also we must not forget that Jack Grealish has been bought in when we all thought Bernardo Silva in the 2018-19 season would actually leave. There were a lot of rumors, right? He was not happy, he was not getting much game time then before the 2018-19 season. So Grealish was bought in for that midfield position, not for the wing position. So I think before going in harshly on Jack Grealish, we need to keep some facts in mind about why Grealish was bought in. But again, I think the role of a manager is to fit the players into the best places in the system so that he can get the best out of them. And Pep surely has a wrong piece on the wrong piece on that left hand side position. Football Freak says the thing is Gomez might help Grealish a game. Gomez is a cam anyways, or maybe try Grealish at right wing. Grealish at right wing would be interesting. Football Freaks because again Kyle Walker is he overlaps traditionally, so Grealish at right wing would actually be an intriguing thing. Will be interesting how Pep, it almost seems now that Pep is caught in a bit of a tactical knots. He's still figuring out the best pieces in the positions in the system that he has designed. Will take time, and we are with Pep on this. So Pep has time. But the intriguing and the curious thing for me will be how will Pep come out of this? That is the only thing. And the very best managers that dare to dream against the odds. See, 4-3-3 is going well with Haaland, and you could have just put in a 4-3-3 and City would have been doing very well. But it's only the very great managers who want to think against the odds, who want to swim against the tide, even though something is working for them. They want to change it up. They have the courage to mix it up, knowing that if it doesn't work, there'll be a lot of critics banging the door down on them. So Pep is in them, he's courageous enough to take those decisions and experimenting with Grealish at left wing, playing those inverted fullbacks. It's a courageous decision by Pep. We'll have to see how Pep will overcome that, how Pep will solve the problem. I've always felt that Pep is a problem solver. The best managers in the world are problem solvers more than anything else. And Pep is right at the very top of that list. So this is another problem he's facing with Grealish, and how will he solve it? That will be very interesting to see. Anyways, guys, see you all and take care.